What is happening, ladies and gentlemen? I'm going to give a quick overview of my grand master plan on how we're going to rank in AI search. So I've got our website pulled up here. The last few weeks have been a big step into the research process and also the execution phase of rolling out new pages that are going to help us rank in AI. There's 12 in total that we added on just in the last week. I want to go into the research process for these. I'm going to go into the creation process. I'm going to talk about the CTAs and the forms and how we're going to funnel this traffic more so into conversion. Going from cold audience, people that are finding us in AI and moving them down a funnel. So I will preface by saying we do have a little bit of optimization work to go into these, but I want to share it while it's just launched. We just launched these pages last night. So beforehand, we just had two services pages. We had a website design page and we had a web lead generation. These are our two main services. So we have the build your website and then the maintenance of website, which is our landmark retention service that combines SEO, B2B website lead generation, and AI search into our recurring offer. Our ideal customer profile is marketers at $2 to $10 million healthcare startups. When they're having conversations with their AI, how can we start to rank for these specific terms that go into these master services? So trying to get really specific, which is what AI search lets you do. When you think about your own behavior with AI and with chatbots, you're having very long queries. You're oftentimes talking for paragraphs at a time, getting really specific, chatting with your chatbots on, okay, let's compare this agency versus this other agency. Why should I work with a specialist? Why should I not? What agencies use Webflow? You're also factoring in multiple situations that account for your unique circumstance. But we want to make sure that we're matching exactly with what our buyers are conversating. So, okay, going more into the tactics here, I'm going to pull up a few different tabs, talk about the pages, the strategy, and our efforts, and how we're going to monitor the changes over time. Okay, so going into our research process a little bit here. So this is a Claude project that we have set up specifically for our SEO efforts. And we use a tool called Semrush to do keyword research. So essentially, we're creating dedicated keyword groups that would go into each of these pages. So if we zoom out a little bit, I'll go back to our Webflow project where you'll be able to see just all the pages. These are the ones that we ended up creating. So we ended up creating 14 overall, 12 in total within these efforts, and they all followed a similar format. So within Semrush, what we did is we created keyword groups for each of the 12 pages. So for example, pharmacy website design. And I went back and forth with Claude and I put in screenshots for each of the keyword lists, as you can see right here, that were associated with each of those pages. So ideally for SEO, you don't want to try and target too many keywords with one page. I kept it between 5 and 6 within each of these 12 pages that I thought we had a shot at ranking for. And we started within Semrush by putting in our competitor websites and running a gap analysis, seeing what opportunities that we could rank for that the other ones weren't optimized for, and putting them into Claude just to help me organize the ones they're going to rank for and help put together the copy. So we started by separating each of the two services into all of the design services and then all of the lead generation services that we could bundle within our 3K per month offer. And then basically all this prompt right here, I basically put in all the screenshots from Semrush, all of the keywords that were associated with each of those groups. So these would go into form the copy that would go on all of these pages. Obviously, we optimized it after it gave it to us, but now that we had the foundation, we know what keywords we wanted to rank for, then we could go in and write the copy that would give us the proper heading structures to then go in and build those into actual pages. And something really cool within Claude here, it helped us prototype for our developer what our navigation would look like. So this obviously is not on brand or anything like that, but I basically asked it to help me prototype what our drop-down mega nav could look like. As you guys can see, the live version right here. This one's obviously on brand and it has all the services associated with them within their proper category. But Claude was really helpful to go in and help prototype that navigation so we could send it over to the developer, knowing exactly where we wanted each of the tabs to occur. Now that we had the copy, I actually used Claude Code to help prototype a low fidelity version of our design. So essentially what you're seeing here is this is downloaded locally to our system, but these are 12 different low fidelity mockups along with one shared styles CSS that are basically wireframes, the high fidelity that are a little bit on brand. So essentially if I open up this index HTML, this is our compliant website page. Obviously this is not to my standard in terms of design, but what it did do was it gave us just a base layout for everything. Give us some nice bento sections. Obviously, these are terrible designs, but it gave us the copy. It gave us some of the ideas that we use for the branding. I really love, and I prompted the heck out of making this happen, but a nice little text accent that illustrates the main value prop. As you guys can see, this is the HIPAA compliant website page, and it messed up a lot of these sections too. So Some of these, there's a wrong brand color there, not a very good tabular kind of case study section here, a slider section that I'm not a huge fan of, and then a CTA form here at the bottom. Now, if we go to the actual live version of the HIPAA compliant website design page, we're going to see a lot of changes. But essentially, we added our social proof, we added some of our actual work here. We updated the buttons to actually be on brand. We made sure the tags were on brand as well. We actually added real mockups, updated the copy a little bit. So you're going to see it most added, real case studies here. So you're going to see in comparison, we have on brand icons. The low fidelity to high fidelity is a really big change. Again, added in testimonials here, real case studies that link back to third-party sources, more services, custom icons for each of them, and then FAQs that are actually on brand. And then we used the design reference to go in a customized form, but essentially this was a low fidelity mockup that allowed us to go in and really customize the design. And I had all the SEO optimized copy that we would then went in and modified on top of it. So this really accelerated the process from 0 to 1. And Claude was really helpful in that. Now that we know the AEO opportunities that we had to rank for, having done our research within Semrush. Also, another tool that we use is this HubSpot AEO tool, and its recommendations were really helpful for knowing what product pages that we should target. So, example, it recommended that we make a Webflow for our Webflow healthcare product page, and we did that. So, if you look at the live site, Webflow web agency, we optimized around that recommendation for HubSpot AEO as well. Custom mockups, everything on brand, really, tailored value props. And as you look at the detailed SEO plugin, we can see that we have a really nice page title, a really on-brand meta description that has all of our keywords from Semrush within them, a perfect URL that talks about everything that we wanted, proper heading and semantic structures, 1H1, 2H2, 12 H2s, and 23 H3s. So that's just perfect. A lot of images with alt text. And if we look at the heading structure here, Webflow, it's just really good, quality copy that passes the line. Obviously, like I said, we went over everything. This was really helpful in scaling the amount of content that we're able to get out on all of these pages and attach relevant case studies. Andy Crestodina has a really good philosophy on case studies and on service pages, is that you want to address every single objection that your customers are having as they scroll the page. So that's what we were able to do with having a custom process for each, custom services that relate to the service that they're currently reading about, testimonials that are relevant from people that are like them, and case studies that are here at the bottom that are relevant to each of the exact services that we offer, and of course, FAQs. Additionally, what we're doing now, kind of the last step of this entire process, is making sure that this conversion form, we're offering a free AEO audit that'll go into kind of making this a full circle package, is we're going to connect this to Google Tag Manager like we do kind of our traditional SOP setup for all of our clients, is going in and setting this up as a conversion event within Google Tag Manager. The way we develop this in Webflow is it is a component with properties, and we can change the heading and the button text for each one of them. But it is one HTML form that is built within Webflow. So when we attach this to a Google Tag Manager instance, we can set that as a conversion event. We'll be able to see how many people are viewing this section, how many people are starting it, so we can get some abandoned cart information and connect those to IP addresses. We have our developer project did an awesome job of setting up a fully compliant cookies consent setup right here. And it wholly works. If you look at our privacy policy, it lists all of our tracking scripts and things like that. This is a standard SOP for all of our websites as well. We got a table of contents. We have tables that go into all of our tracking information as well. So having all of this set up from the beginning is going to be a really good funnel into our audit. We have an anchor link for the main CTA here in the top right that'll go direct with the contact page. Having a little bit of candor in here, or even available in AI, that's no bueno. So yeah, we've got this architecture set up, and the goal is to really be able to increase the score, kind of our North Star right here, going back to our HubSpot AEO dashboard. By the way, I made a full video on this, so you should definitely check out here soon. Getting a bigger share of voice by acting on these recommendations that HubSpot AEO has given us. And, I think it's going to go up and to the right very, very soon. So I'll keep you guys posted on the progress of this. Like I said, this is kind of an overarching overview of our strategy. And as I said, the last kind of part of this is using this at the bottom right here and going in and implementing the schema markup for each and every page. So I asked Claude to create the schema markup that's validated by schema.org, essentially going into each of these pages. And schema is essentially a AI-friendly way for websites to scan the content of each page. So So you want to include FAQs, you want to include the page type, the target keywords within there, URL, source URL, include your social media profile links and everything like that. Make it really easy for AI to parse information on each page. And having custom schema for each of these 12 new pages is going to really knock it out of the park. Combine that with our good SEO foundation of building everything semantically correct. When AI goes in and reads our sitemap, it's going to be super user-friendly, and it's going to be targeting those keywords that our buyers are using when they're in the consideration phase. So, example, one of the problems we're trying to rank for is SEO-focused or healthcare-focused webflow agencies. And when they're comparing, articles and they're comparing different agencies, asking those questions to their AI of choice, we're going to have a really favorable view in those because we have so many very specific queries and pages that are optimized for that exact search. So again, this is how we're going to make AI visible to our website. This is our efforts. We're going to start rolling these out across all of our clients and kind of zooming out. Final steps, just give you a full 360 view, starting with good keyword research, using AI to help you create low fidelity versions of each of those very specific pages based on your ranking opportunities, publishing those, having a specific CTA for each of those pages, attaching that to Google Tag Manager, creating a conversion event, and I'm running that full cycle through, iterating and improving. But now that we have those pages live, I'm super excited to share the progress of these. Thank you guys for watching. Again, kind of a low production quality video. I hope you enjoyed kind of these behind the scene looks. And we'll keep you posted on the progress. Cheers. And remember, you don't quit, you win.